guys, Brittany here at It's Heart Work, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about why flexible seating was an epic fail for me. Stay tuned. So I was super excited to get my flexible seating started at the beginning of the school year. I went and I bought stools from IKEA. I went and got these like back pillows for when students are on the floor. I went and got yoga mats. I got yoga balls. I got bouncy bands. And I got butterfly chairs. So I got those things and I set them up in my classroom. It looked super cute. I was excited. It was a very calm atmosphere, it felt like, because everything was low to the ground. So I was super excited to get it started. What I really, realized soon into this whole flexible seating concept in my classroom was that there were some holes in some things that I was doing, that caused the system not to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the reasons why flexible seating did not work out for me. So reason number one why flexible seating did not work out for me, I was too inconsistent. So there would be times on stools where students would lean in them, or on yoga balls when students would bounce really high, which that was not one of the acceptable things that you could do on a yoga ball. And I would either give a warning or I would either take it away. Now, I will say some of this is like, so if a student had already had a warning the previous day before, or I always give them warnings when they're on the yoga ball seat, I might just take it away automatically. But in hindsight, I really think I should have just taken it away for every student the first time that they did it, just for the consistency, so that they would understand the rule from the beginning. So I started off giving warnings, and then I switched to taking it away, and then there would be times when I would take it away and then I wouldn't take it away. So it was extremely inconsistent, totally my problem, and basically a classroom management 101 issue. That's something that I should have handled from the beginning. So I would say the inconsistency with the consequences caused it to fail very, very early on. This brings me to my next point. If you're going to give a consequence to students, make sure you have the right materials to be able to handle the consequence that you give them. So for me, I had regular chairs in the classroom. I had them situated around the room. I had them at the small group area, and I also had some in what I call an independent study room in my classroom. So there were chairs, but there were times where, say for example, a student was leaning in a stool and I told them to go switch it out and get a regular chair. They went and got the regular chair, maybe from the small group area, because there weren't enough chairs around the room that were left. Maybe some other students had to get their chair switched out too. So they take a chair from the small group area and they replace it with a stool. When we go over to do small group work, now there's a stool there instead of a chair, or they switch it out for a yoga ball. Well, now one person at the small group table gets to sit on a yoga ball, and that became an issue as well. So it just became a problem of not having enough chairs to be able to handle if students could not deal with or be responsible enough with the yoga balls. So that was a problem. So I would definitely say just make sure that you're prepared to give students consequences. And I didn't say this before, but at my tables, I had round tables. I had 2 yoga balls and then 2 stools at the round tables. And then at my regular tables, I had 1 yoga ball, 1 chair with a bouncy band on it, and 2 stools. So there were stools and yoga balls at every single table, and then the rectangular tables got to get bouncy bands, but it just, it was a management nightmare in terms of having enough materials to actually give the consequence. So yeah, I would say if you're gonna do that, obviously make sure that you can back up that talk, okay? That's the biggest thing. Another issue that brings me to is when students did switch out their yoga ball for a chair, say a chair was like in a random place around the room, or even if it wasn't in a random place around the room, when they switched it out, or at any point that students were not sitting on the yoga ball, they rolled all over the place. So I got my yoga balls from Five Below. Five Below is a store where obviously everything is $5 or below, and they were a great deal. $5 for one yoga ball, I'm taking it. You know, I didn't have the ones with the little legs on the bottom or with the backs on the chairs. Like, I didn't have yoga balls that had those things on them. So this is just what I had. But obviously when students got up, they rolled away. Now, at the beginning of the school year, I actually tried the whole pool noodle idea where the pool noodles are like a base for the yoga ball. But the issue with that was you could hear them squeaking all the time. Like, it was super annoying. So I took the pool noodles away, and that just left the yoga balls rolling all over the place. They did not stick or stay like underneath the edge of the tables. That didn't work out either. So I had a big issue. Now, if you're gonna try yoga balls and you have ones without legs or a back, or you're not doing the pool noodle idea, then one suggestion that someone gave to me was to put sand in the yoga ball. So if you put enough sand in there, it will keep it from rolling around. So if you're gonna try it, I would say definitely do that. Reason number 4 why flexible seating did not work out for me was just managing whose day it was. So I didn't have a written system for whose yoga ball seat day it was. In my mind, I figured, oh, I would remember every other day we just switched the seats. And since the same set of students had the seats on the same day, it would be easy. So for example, students who were facing the window and the door had the yoga ball seats, and then students who were facing the whiteboard and the back of the class had it on the same day. So it, you know, I figured, hey, that would be easy. But it gets a little sticky when students are missing from school and they want to switch out and get their yoga ball day back, or when students get their privilege taken away and they want it back. Now, obviously, you can't have it back if you miss school, or you can't have it if you lose it. But I'm human. I'm a teacher. Like, my memory sometimes, short term especially, is like this. So I forget. So that was obviously an issue, like not having it written down, or not having like a color-coded system, something that was super easy. I think writing it down would just be like too much for me to manage. And you know, until I had a consistent routine, I didn't feel comfortable with having the students mark down like, yes, this is my day, no, it's not my day, because they really wanted to sit in those seats like every single day. So I would say, like, just make sure you have a system written down if you're going to try it. But that was definitely something that I did not do that caused it not to work out for me. The 5th reason why flexible seating did not work out for me was because I had round tables and I had rectangular tables. I had a couple desks in my classroom, but most of the students did not have a desk. So you can imagine this presented some unique issues in terms of where to put supplies. Now, my students actually do have lockers. In the 4th grade, they put their, but we don't use the lockers for like putting supplies in, and we don't have them go out to the lockers and get their things. We keep all their supplies in their desk or in the classroom. But without a desk, you know, there wasn't a place to put their supplies. Now, I did actually obviously plan for that. The students had book bins where they put their supplies into, but a book bin is only so big and it's not going to hold everything that you need. And so I realized that, and I would have students only put certain things in the book bin and certain things in a different spot. They put book bins in cubbies, by the way. So I would have them put certain things in the book bin and certain things to the side of the book bin. And then it just became too much. It became an organizational mess. On top of that, all my cubbies are in one spot. So basically, when students would go to get their supplies, even if I only called for 5 at a time, it would be a mess. Like, they would have to sift through their things and find what they needed, and then other students would be just waiting and waiting, and that wait time was a management killer. So it just didn't work out because of the whole table situation. And so I did end up switching and getting desks. I think in February or some point, like sometime around then, February, I ended up getting desks because I realized that it just was too much for some students to handle not having a desk. That transition wasn't enough time. Now, the ironic thing about that is when we finally got desks, students were actually way more organized than I thought that they could be. So they were so used to having their stuff confined to this small little space that they were really good about not keeping extra papers, and they were really good about only putting the essential things that you needed in your desk, because they didn't have one. So it actually taught them how to be a little more organized and stick with the essentials, which I actually love. Finally, would I do it again? Absolutely. So I said all of that and how it was an epic fail, but at the end of the day, I cannot help but to try it again, because I think the benefits are so great. I think the failure came on my part and not on my students' part, and I think I want to give it another shot. So obviously I'll revamp my rules and, remain more consistent with the consequences and figure out a system that works well for who gets what seat on what day. I've taken the stools away, so I don't have those small stools from IKEA, because students had leaned in them so much that the legs started to bend and they became wobbly. So, and aside from that, I realized too, they weren't comfortable to sit in. So I've, weeded out what I needed and what I didn't need for flexible seating. I still have yoga mats, I still have butterfly chairs, I still have the back pillows. So I still have those things, but I am going to give it another go. The funny thing about it is, as crazy as it was, and as much as I felt like it wasn't working or wasn't worth it by the end of the school year, students actually were able to manage their own needs. So for example, there will be times when students would say, hey, you know what, today I don't need a yoga ball, or I don't want a yoga ball. And they learn their limits, and they learn what was best for them to learn with. And that was one of the things that made me say, you know what? Maybe I should give this a shot again, because by the end of the year, I had so many students saying, you know what, I'm okay. I don't want a yoga ball today. So I was like, wow, there's a whole lot to be said for that. So I am going to try it again, because I think it's a great thing. I think it's great to give students a choice of movement. Yoga ball seats are very comfortable. Even having the butterfly seats, I had students who occasionally needed to change their seating, and I let them sit on a butterfly seat, or yoga mats, we rolled those out, or stools, they would take them out and move them to different seats. So I'm a pretty flexible teacher, and I love the idea of flexible seating. I am going to give it another shot, as crazy as it was. I've just learned so many things from it. So yeah, you live and you learn, and I'm excited to try it again. So thank you so much for watching the video today. I look forward to more of these conversations with you guys about what works for me and what doesn't. If you guys have any questions or comments about flexible seating, or if you've tried some things that work, I'd love for you to share it with me. Comment in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.